Okay, everybody, I am very excited about this. We have been talking about doing this for a while, and every time that I start to put together this interview for you, this guy hits a new milestone. And it's really exciting to me because what he's doing is doing things that took me 6 months to do, and he's doing them in a month. So this is proof that anybody can do this if they dedicate themselves the way that this guy has. And so I am bringing on my friend Raymond Gonzalez. And welcome, Ray. Thanks for doing this with us. I appreciate you.
Chuck, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. So the reason I'm excited about this is because you're probably like many people. You're looking at this and with a fair amount of skepticism, right? And I'm not going to take away from your story. I'm going to let you tell it, but you're coming from a real honest place where you did your homework, right? You did your research and you looked into this, but kind of just tell people your story about this whole thing, how we connected, how you found me, all of that good stuff.
I was already doing TikTok lives, and I started doing TikTok lives back in uh, I want to say the end of March because I opened up the channel on March 1st, and it took me about a month to get to 1,000 followers. Back then, you had to have 1,000 followers to go live. And so I reached it in just under a month. So I want to say that probably towards the 28th or 29th of March is when I started doing lives. And when I was initially doing lives, I wasn't even appearing on camera. I was using a dry erase board, and people were seeing just the dry erase board, and I was just giving English lessons, and I was just basically giving them, thrown to the wind, basically, because it's people were watching and they weren't paying me anything. They were just watching for free. So I, I guess you could say I was kind of paying it forward. So I was laying. I didn't know this at the time, but I was laying the foundation for what I have today, which is still, I don't think it's still fine tuned yet. I think I can still do better, but it's just been a constant process, constant improvement. So while being on TikTok, um, I came across you, probably like 5 months ago, I want to say. So if I started this 8 months ago, I probably met you within the first 3 months that I was on TikTok, and I saw one of your lives, and I'll be honest with you, Chuck, I was listening to you, and I was trying to, and I don't know. I don't think I'm a Gen X, or I'm 65, so I don't know what that makes me. Gen Y, whatever the heck it makes. But
I think it puts you in what they call the baby boomer category.
I guess
And a lot of people sometimes call me boomer and they're like, no, I'm Gen X. But
so. Whatever. Anyway, so I'm like, I'm listening to you, and I'm going, what the heck is this guy talking about? And so I really didn't know what you were talking about. So I said, well, shoot, let me just listen some more. And I just listened and listened and listened and listened, and and there were some things you were saying that were ringing, like you were hitting some uh some veins, I guess. And then I said, shoot, and then I went and caught your next live, and every time I would look on TikTok, if you were live, I would go in and watch you. And so, and I still was like, man, what is this? What is this? What is this? And then I don't know anything about, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know anything about any other platform. And I hear from reading the chats in the school games and school community, I hear people talking about this community, that community, this platform, that platform. I'll be honest with you, I don't care. I don't care because I don't have time to be retooling or reinventing the wheel. The wheel's already invented, and I bought into. I tell you something. I bought into once I figured, and I asked you many questions. If you remember, I
I
kept
do. Yeah.
asking you questions, and I was trying to be careful not to come across like I was being too inquisitive, but I really wanted to know. and I said, could I do this? I teach English.
I remember the day not to interrupt you, but I remember the day you asked, it's like, could I do this with English as a second language in school? I said, absolutely you could.
Yeah.
Because
So,
I mean, that was really what this platform was
and
created for, you know?
and what I like about it is this, because theoretically I could do what I do and just theoretically have people sell me the money or or whatever. But what the school platform does for me, it kind of validates me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that people have a school to go to, a place to go to, right? Whether you're teaching English or whether you're coaching people to how to cook pasta or whatever it is that you're good at. This is what I always tell people since I met you and since I started doing this, and you see me that I'm pretty active on the boards, and what I always tell people is, man, what are you good at? What is it that you're good at? What is it? And I got this from you where you said, people are sitting at A and they need to get to B, and you have that solution to get them to B, right? And so it isn't so much about me, as it is more about them. So I try to make it more about them, and if I make it about them, me takes care of itself.
100%. And you have taken that lesson and you have completely run with it, because you have, you've over delivered in any way, in any way, shape, or form. And that's why people, that's why they gravitate toward you, and that's why you've grown. So talk a little bit about the beginning of your journey on Skool. What did you do? How did it begin to grow, and kind of take back to the. So that was, by the way, for people that are watching this, at the time we recorded this, it's only like 6 weeks ago. I mean, you talk about a rocket ship
Yeah,
up, and that has been Ray. So go ahead and tell us about that.
it's actually gonna be 8 weeks tomorrow, but
Okay.
no one's counting. But I'm saying because of the flame emoji that comes next to my name, it says that I've been active for however many weeks. But so it'll be I signed up. I signed up September the 8th. September the 8th of this year. So I guess it won't be till November the 8th that I hit the 2 month mark. So it's just about 8 weeks. But I told you, when I finally made the decision, I still didn't have all the information. I really didn't have all the information. But I said, you know what? F it. I got to jump off the deep end and figure this thing out on the inside. I can't figure it out on the outside. I can look in the window all I want, right? It's kind of like what that Hormozy thing said. Before you ever shared a Hormozy script with me, I'll tell you something. I was telling people on my lives about English. I was telling them, look, man, you can't learn this language if you just go to the school and peek in the window. Okay, you got to come in the classroom and take a seat, and then you can learn. And the same school, man. I figure out that I wasn't going to learn it watching you doing lives. I wasn't going to do anything. There was no money going to come in for me watching you doing lives.
Right.
So I had some people, like selling me money and things like that. But the purpose of Skool basically is, and I hear people say, hey, it's just multi-level marketing. No, it's not multi-level marketing. The platform it does is it serves as a funnel to collect your money for you,
Right.
And yes, they're entitled to make 2.9% for providing you that service. And it gives you metrics. It gives you your revenue. It gives you your conversion rate. It gives you your churn rate. It gives you everything that you want to know. How many visitors? It gives you everything. It gives you all the information that you would have to hire somebody to do for you. And so for me, I mean, when I jumped in, I didn't even think about it, man. I said, you know what? I'm just going off the deep end. And this is what I did, man. I opened up a community, and it was a free community, of course, and I started right away. I started sharing it with my current students, and I say, hey guys, I'm moving over to this platform for the purpose of streamlining this thing. I hope you'll join me there. And man, they poured in, like they started pouring in. And I said, whoa, I better put the halt on this. So then what I did was, I changed it. I changed it to paid. And so I got my first 20 free members, and then I changed it to paid. And I started charging like a smaller amount. And then I said, oh, I'm not getting anybody joining me anymore, because you know what? It's how are they going to join? They don't have information other than what I say. So then, I'm doing this wrong. And that was within 4 days. I figured out, I said, I got to get me another one. So I got me another community. And so then I turned that one back to free. And then I bought the paid community. And now in the free community, it's kind of like when you go to Disney World and you go to the show, but you go to the pre-show first before they let you into the main event kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I did it. And so people are coming into I think I have like 90 something members in my free community now. And I have like 30 in a paid community, 30, I think about 30. So in the free community, I just give them information about classes, and I offer one, like I have the classroom option in the free community, so that you come in for free. But if they want to have more information, which I said, you want free info, go get it. And then once there, I'll say, hey, listen, you don't have to buy into my paid community right away. You can go to the free community, buy one class, and if after one class you think I'm everything that you're expecting me to be, like if you think I can solve your problem, then you can go ahead and sign up. And it's been like, that's how it's worked for me so far. I mean, so
now you've been in business, you've been in real estate, and you've been in, but it seems to me like your real passion at this point is doing this. And
it's always been. I've always coached people. I mean, even like in real estate, I used to coach people. In fact, I opened up a third community. Guys, I'm crazy, but I opened up a third community, and it's called, I think it's called Business Builders of America, something like that. I forgot what the heck I called it, but I have like 3 members, and this is not a free community. This is a paid community. So I'm actually reaching out to people that are in the field, and I say, hey guys, you wanna go to a place? It's kind of like going to a coffee shop and talking shop and talking about about business and how what does everybody else do, and we pick each other's brains. $3 a month, whatever. It's only $3 a month. And I said, why the $3? I'll tell you why the $3 is to keep the bots and the spammers out of the group.
Exactly.
That's the reason why I put the $3 in there. So it's kind of like a paid community. I got to charge on my phone.
That's okay.
Like a paid community, but it isn't like for me to get rich. But
right.
I seen it's Ryan Duncan or Thompson, one of those people. They've opened up communities for $1 a month.
Right.
And you get 100 members paying you $1 a month. There's your membership.
Right. Yeah. You've offset the cost of having the community. Yeah. I think one of the things that people mess up is they try to go, and I was just reading a post today on this inside of Skool Games, and they were saying the number one thing that this guy, and if you're new to Skool, you don't know who he is, but Ray and I know Ted Carr. I mean, he's one of the GOATs. And he says the number one thing that people do is they try to get people from social media or DMs or ads and get them directly into a paid community rather than having that filter of a free community. So when I go live, that's the one thing that I talk about. I was like, look, if you're going to run this business the right way and attract people in the right way, you'll spend $200 a month for it, right? $198 a month for 2 communities. And then you will have everything you need. You won't need a website. You won't need a funnel. Your free group acts as a funnel. And then it filters people eventually into your paid without some high pressure sales pitch.
Yeah, you can bring people in from Facebook, from YouTube, from Instagram, from all your other social medias, and you can funnel them right into your free group. And then from there they can they'll find their way to the paid group anyway.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I agree with you. I learned like right away within 3 or 4 days. I learned. I said, hey, wait a minute. I got to have a free community and a paid community. And when I weigh the pros and the cons, I said, what the heck is $200?
Right.
I mean, what the heck is $200 when I started weighing in the return and I think that I made my $198 in the first week.
Yes, you did. And that was going to be my next question was take us through the process of what your offer was, what it is now, how it was growing then, how it's growing now, and just kind of take people behind the scenes of how quickly this really can happen. Now, and I will say this as a disclaimer, if you're not willing to put in the work that Ray puts in, then it's not going to grow that way. But Ray puts in a tremendous amount of work. He goes live daily. So I wanted to shout you out for all of that. You're very active in all the communities that you belong to. You got your little fire emoji for 30 days of at least 10 activities in all these communities. But yeah, take people through kind of what you started with your offer, what it's evolved into now, and how it's growing and where you see it going.
Yeah. Before I tell you that, I'll tell you this. If you treat this like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. And if you treat it like a job, it's going to be the best damn paying job you ever had. I can see it. I can see it coming up because I'm just about the point where I'm going to hit $1,000 monthly recurring revenue. Not to mention all the other courses that I've sold. I mean, there's other income made from course sales. And
so what was in your first 30 days? I think your first maybe 6 weeks. What was your income from Skool?
Just this past way, I was like 603 MRR and I had $398 in course sales.
Okay.
But I made my $198 investment within the first week, and
yeah.
In the first week, I'm talking about.
Yeah, you didn't even go the 14-day free trial on Skool. You already made your money back before they even charged you.
And here's the other thing. The 14-day free trial, it's great. It's a 14-day free trial. But here's the thing. If you get in this, right, and you get in it with the intention of building something, honestly, you don't need a 14-day free trial. Right. And this is what I'm going to tell you. Within the first 2 days, I think it was, first 2 or 3 days, I changed my URL. Instead of having that Raymond Gonzalez 5489 and all those other numbers, I said, no, I need to make it easy for people to get a hold of me. I need to make it easy for people. People are going to take me more serious if they see a URL that makes sense. So that's how, when you go into your dashboard and you go into your settings and you can just get your URL, and you got to get it before somebody else does. Somebody you and they're going to grab your URL and you're going to be up the creek. But I got both of my URLs, and the minute you get both URLs, the free trial is over. I mean, you're
right.
in it at that.
You're in it. Yeah, you are committed. I did a video the other day. I was like, you have to act like you're already where you want to be before you get there. And absolutely. that means believing so much that it's going to work that you make the commitment and you do it.
I had no doubts that it was going to work. I just didn't know because, listen, I have been teaching for some months. I have been teaching for free on TikTok. For free. I was doing it for free. Possibly, you could call it a hobby if you want to. I was doing like lives, 2 or 3 hours a night, every single night after night. And when there's other teachers out there on TikTok and other platforms that they're doing lives and they do them once a week or twice a week, but not 7 days a week like I was doing them. And so that's how I started building my following. I think when I first met you, I think I had like, I don't know, 3,500 followers, something like that, somewhere around.
And where are you today?
I think I'm at almost 13,000 now.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
And it's like every night now that I do lives, I'm picking up about 100 followers per live.
Wow, that's great.
But here's the thing, I didn't know where the hell I was going to start, to be honest with you. And so I said, well, shoot, I think I saw that you used to be at a certain number, and I said, well, let me try to see what everybody else is doing. I saw what everybody else was doing. I go, okay, and I kind of saw a pattern throughout the entire school community, all the different communities. And it's good to go and discover and see. If you go on school.com, discover, you can see, and you can just type in a keyword, you can see what pops up, and then go into the schools and look at their About Me page. You know,
Hmm.
look, if you're not having any success, it's because your About Me page sucks.
That's true.
It doesn't give them enough reasons to want to click the button and pay you. But
Right.
what I did is I started with a mediocre About Me page. I didn't know any better at the time, but I started charging like $37 a month, right? And the first 3 students pay for my one community. The next 3 pay for my second community, and that happened within the first week. So within the first week, I was already like at even or a few dollars above even. Even after paying the 2.9%, I was still profitable. And then I started like, started working on my About Me page, tweaking that, and I was looking at what everybody else had, and I said, well, I'm going to mirror myself after the people that are successful, because why reinvent the wheel, right? If it's
Right.
so, and just watching your videos and watching Hermosi's and all the Zoom calls, and so I mean, I kept going up. I went to 47. People were still paying it. I went to 77. They were still paying it. And I said, and 7 is a magic number, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't do 8. Don't do 9. Don't do 6. Do 7. Whatever you do, if you're gonna charge something, start with something that ends in 7. So if it's 17 or 27, if it ends in 7, believe me, man, it's gonna work. 7 is a beautiful magic number. So yeah, so I'm up to 127 now, and in the last 2 days I've had. Oh, and I did the free trial thing, and I got 2 people like the same day, bang bang, signed in off the free trial. Now those people that signed up for my free trial didn't even know there was a free trial. They
Yeah. Nice.
they were already committed to taking my classes.
Yeah.
And then I turned off the free trial, and then I got 2 more people. So I have like 4 people at 127 now.
That's amazing.
That
That is
are
absolutely amazing.
so.
So I mean, it sounds to me like what you're saying is and this is probably with anything in the beginning, you just got to be ignorance on fire is really what you have to be. You don't need to know everything.
I didn't know any better, man. I just didn't know. And I was just churning ahead, and I hate to use the word churn, but
Yeah, churn's a bad word.
yeah, but I was like trucking, man. I was like trucking, and look, man, it's kind of like I don't know if you ever heard of I don't know if you ever heard. I forgot the name of the guy, but it was and I don't even know what he was famous for, but he had a saying that I'm getting old, but the guy said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path, and make a trail."
Yeah.
And God, I
And
wish
you were definitely doing that on School.
I'm not going to go where everybody else is going. In fact, when I go on Discover and I type in like English or Ingles or whatever, I mean, I rank pretty high up there. I'm like number 4,000. Which
Yeah. Yeah.
there's literally like I don't know 20,000 or more communities. And I'm in the top 25%.
That's incredible. And you've only had one for a couple of months.
Yeah,
So,
you
and
don't.
another thing that I see you when you talk, measurement is very important to you, right? You
Oh,
got to measure.
oh, I'm on top of my metrics every chance I get. I'm looking at what's working, what's not working. If somebody and I listen, I've had a couple of people churn, and
Mhm.
I don't mind. I mean, that's part of it's going to be part of the deal. I mean, some people are not going to like you, 100%. One of the people that left me, you want to know why they left me? Was because I couldn't give them my class on a day that they were available to give them.
Ah,
And the only reason I wasn't available was because a hurricane had just come through here.
yeah, yeah.
And
You've been dealing with some weather where you are.
I had no power. I had no internet, right?
Right,
So
right.
I'm like, oh, well, I said, and I couldn't even, I'm with Verizon, and I couldn't even send a message because there was
Yeah,
Wi-Fi. And I'm thinking,
yeah. Everything was cut off.
paying for data when you can't even send a message without.
Right,
But
right.
that's one of the reasons why that lady is not with me anymore, and the other one is just not with me anymore because she just one of those people that just wanted to be babied, and this is not about being babied. So I mean, I'm just basically,
Yeah, I see school as it is not it, and I've been explaining this recently to people. Your free school is, and you're in even your lives, that is do it yourself, right?
yeah,
And then school is done with you.
yeah,
It's very rarely done for you.
right.
School is all about done with you.
It's already
And
done. Yeah,
if they don't meet you halfway, they're not going to get the results that, even you're promising them. It's like I heard the expression one time is like, well, I can show you everything to do, but I can't do the sit-ups or the push-ups for
yeah.
you.
Something else too. You know, my niche, because that's what you got to have. You got to have a niche. You can't be, if you're gonna make this successful. This is my opinion. You guys do whatever you want to do, but listen, if you take one thing, just one thing, and be 100% about it, okay? Don't try to do 100 things 1%.
Amen.
Do one thing 100%, and that's what I've done. Um, I have not purposely gone into any other person. And there's many people on TikTok doing what I do. They're teaching English as a second language to people, right? And they're doing it for their own reasons. They either have a YouTube channel that they feed people through, and they have, they have some form of monetization that they have. I'm not interested in seeing what they do or how they do it. I do my own thing. I am my own Pied Piper. I play my own tune, and people follow me. And the comments that I get during my lives is what tells me that I'm doing the right thing. Is when I hear
Mhm.
when I hear people or read people saying to me, "Man, I've taken English for 2 years and I never once seen this before,"
Yeah.
and I'm explaining things that weren't explained to them before. And it comes down to this: the Spanish people who I teach English to, they don't want to learn grammar. They don't
Interesting.
They don't even know grammar in Spanish. Why are you going to
Mm.
learn grammar in English when they don't even know it in Spanish? What they want to learn to do is they want to learn to speak. So what I'm offering them is I'm offering them an opportunity to learn to speak, and the way you speak is you make sounds. But and that's been my niche, man. I mean, and people are just not only are people flocking to me, I've had people be recommended to me. I'm currently teaching two airline pilots, who
Wow.
they fly for a South American airline, but they need to
Okay.
fly all over the world, and
Yeah.
their English is really rough. And so what I promised them is I promised them that I can make them sound more idiomatic. Well,
Hmm.
English is my second language. Okay,
Yeah, and that was gonna be, and I probably should have led with this, but how did you get into this niche? And I know exactly what you're gonna say, and it's gonna make the point perfectly. But tell people how you got into the niche of English as a second language.
oh well, I mean, there was a time when I didn't speak English. There was a time when I only spoke Spanish, and I learned English. And not only did I learn it, but I learned it, where I'm semi native, basically. I mean, people say, "Man, you."
Oh, you're literate. Don't you sell yourself short. You're definitely literate. If for a person that this is not your native language, you are more than literate.
So people that tune into my lives, when they hear me talking and explaining concepts and things like that, unless I speak Spanish, they don't know. They think that I'm native. And then and then they hear me say a word in Spanish. They go, "Where did you learn your Spanish?" And I'm like, the best question is, where did I learn my English? Or
Right,
I learned,
right.
and so
And
what I'm
that's the whole point. People are always like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what my topic should be. I don't know what my community should be about. I don't know what I should teach. And you are your first customer,
yeah.
right? Whatever you didn't know before, this is the most natural way to do it, is find something that you didn't know how to do that you now know how to do, and teach the people that were the former version of you how to do it. That's the easiest way to do it. It's the most authentic way, because you understand what they're going through, right? You understand the emotions and the problems that they're facing in doing this. And then you're creating a solution for them because you know where they were and you understand them.
And I'm explaining to them, it isn't so much about me teaching you how to speak English. It's about me helping you get that promotion or get that job that you
Mhm.
get. So I'm selling the solution, not so much, the the how,
Right. Yeah.
but
It's like Hormozy says, you are selling the vacation, not the trip.
I'm
Yeah.
selling the nation, not the.
And that is so important, because I think, and I made lots of mistakes on this early in my business career. It's not about the product, the service, the benefits, any of that stuff. I mean, not the features, I'm sorry. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about the end result that they get by having that thing. It's not about that thing. It's about what they get when they have that thing.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing. It's the promotion, it's the whatever. And those are the things that resonate with people. And I loved what you said also about your niche. Um, and then the third thing I really got from our whole conversation here was that you're not worried about what other people are doing. You're not worried about um, shiny objects. That's what Alex calls it all the time. He calls it shiny objects. Don't get distracted by that stuff. Focus on one thing. And you are the epitome of that in action. And kind of, how did you come to that realization before you got to Skool, or was that something that you learned once you got inside of Skool, how important that focus is?
No, I was already focused before I got into Skool, but what Skool did for me is it helped me to, um I hate to use the word monetize quicker, you know.
Sure.
So it helped me to monetize quicker because now I had a platform that, and I had all the pieces are in place. There's nothing for.
There's nothing missing,
I see
nothing at all.
I see people suggesting constantly, oh, you should have this, oh, you should have that because so and so platform has this and you don't have it. And I'm like, dude, why are you worried about what we don't have? Why don't you work with what we do have? And like you said, don't worry about the damn shiny objects. Just focus on what you do. I was already focused. I was already focused because I already knew what I was doing, and and it just so happened that you and I coincided, and we coincided on TikTok Live, and I watched you for 3 months. I kind of regret not having active 3 months before that, but you know what? I don't know that that I would have, that I would have had the success had I acted 3 months earlier, not having, not having a full listening to you. Kind of, I started piecing today with the next day and the next day, and I did no research, man. I didn't go on Google. I didn't go anywhere. I just, I said, the hell with it. I'm going on here, Skool. I signed up through your link, and that's
I hear you all the time, and you talk about, I wish I had done this 3 months earlier. I wish that, and I see your perspective changing a little bit, but this is another thing. And for those of you guys that are seeing this, and you were talking about Alex Hormozy all the time, because if it wasn't for Alex Hormozy, none of us would really be, well, some of us would be here, but we wouldn't be succeeding the way that we are. The magic in this platform is what Sam Ovens has put together, but it's also the business understanding that Alex brings and the way he's able to explain it. But one
yeah,
of the things that Alex, this is one of his favorite questions, or I mean, one of his favorite stories to tell, is the fact that he was at a conference, or at a master class, if you will, at one point, and a guy asked some woman, she's like, how much do you want to make a year? And she said $1 million. So he puts $1 million on the board. And then he asks her, how much do you currently make? Said, I make $50,000 a year. She said, so every year that you're not making $1 million, you're paying a $950,000 ignorance tax because you don't know what it takes to make a million. So you're not making a million, but you're in your ignorance tax, even at less than 2 months, your ignorance tax is only like $1,000. So it's not like you've really hurt yourself too badly, but
Yeah.
you acted, and that's what makes this so exciting to me. Like I said at the beginning of this, was the whole point that stuff that took me 6 months to do, you're doing in 1 month. And
Yeah.
that's why I love the community that we're putting together, because I know what we're talking about works.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is go into it with the mindset and the ferocity that you did, and other people can have the same results.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to tell you, because Hermosi himself talks about this, and he says 54.1% of all school communities are profitable, right? They're making at least 1,300 a month. And it got me thinking, the other 47.9 or 45.9%, I'm not good at math, but I'm good at English, but not math. The other 45.9% is not profitable. In my opinion, is because they're probably not doing anything. They're probably just sitting in the fence. They probably got in this thinking, oh, this is a get rich quick kind of deal, and it didn't pan out that way. I hear people saying, I'm having a hard time attracting people. And I said, well, why are you having a hard time attracting people? What do you know how to do? What proof do you have of what you know how to do? And whose life have you changed with what you know how to do? And if you can answer those questions and figure that out, then people are going to flock to you, because they want to get what the other people got.
Right.
Want to get the solution that the other people got. Listen, I learned this. I learned this in my short 8 weeks here. I learned this. I don't have to wait until my people are fluent in English to get testimonies from them. Okay, they're giving me testimonies now of how much progress they made. And I even have one lady, probably two, but I have one lady for sure that she's one of my current students, that she watched me back in the beginning, when I first started, like my first week in, when I had 1,000 followers. She watched me, and she sort of got scared, she said, because of I'm a little bit vociferous, if you will. I mean, I tend to speak loud, and sometimes I sound like I'm angry, but I'm not. And I'm very animated. So I was doing one of those lives where I was very animated and all that. And she swore up and down that I was mad, and she didn't want any part of me. Yeah. But she came back, and then she eventually enrolled in my classes. And now she says, dang it. She goes, I regret, I saw you the first time I saw you, I immediately passed judgment, and I didn't give you an opportunity. And so, now she wishes she would have started, because she says she's been studying for 2 years, going to a school to learn English as a second language in a school in 2 years, and she's learned absolutely nothing. She's learned more with me in 2 months than she's learned in 2 years. And
right.
So I guess,
and that's what Skool does. I mean, Skool, when you start a school with somebody, that's truly what you're doing, is you're shortcutting the learning process. And what you're doing is that's a perfect example of that.
But I mean, all I can say, Chuck, is this, man. If this is not for everybody. This is not for everybody. But for the people that they're holding on to they have a talent. They have a talent that can change other people's lives. I'm like, don't waste it. It's like the parable of the talent. Don't waste it. Go out there and invest it. Plant seeds, plant good seeds, and they're going to pay off. They're going to pay off if you go in it with the right attitude, with the right heart and the right mental focus. But it's not get rich quick, guys. You got to work every day. So.
but it's a labor of love, you know, and you just you fall in love with this process, and this is the most fun I've ever had. I know it's the most fun you've ever had because it just feels so authentic, and it is, I mean, it's like a connection of people, and you get to help them, and you get to see, like you said, the fruits of your labor helping them. And I probably should have ended it with your last comment, but this is probably a good place for us to end. So if you have one last message for people that are watching this that are kind of on the fence whether or not they want to go all in for this or other things, um, you know, tell them what you believe about Skool, and where it's, you know, because you and I also, um, we see that we're only scratching the surface of what Skool's going to be. I mean, this is not a finished product by any stretch of the imagination. So tell them what you see as a vision, you know, for what they can do and what you're going to be able to do with Skool.
If they have a clearly defined, why, of, you know, why they're doing this or why they want to do this, you know, and they have a real solution. It's not about getting into school because you want to help other school members to build their school and all that. And I see that all over the place. That's a bunch of fluff. If you have a real solution, to offer people, if you have a real path, like I tell you, man, you know, watching you for 3 months helped me to expedite this whole thing. You know, you may have not done it as fast, but you helped other people do it fast. You know, and so the one thing I can tell people is first of all, get off the fence. Only lizards live in fences. You know,
I love that.
yeah, I mean, yeah. And so get off the fence, jump in and get on the inside. You can't do it unless you're inside. You can't do it peeking through the window. And then once you're inside and you've seen it, guess what, Chuck? You can't unsee it anymore.
You're exactly right.
You can't unsee it. That's it.
Yeah. Well, that's a great place to end. Ray, I appreciate all your time. Continued success to you. And if you guys happen to just be in this space, and maybe this is, you know, maybe English isn't your native language, and somehow you end up in my community, connect with Ray. Ray will help you understand English so you can understand better what this thing is all about. So where can they connect with you, Ray?
Oh, I have a free community. It's called Skool.com, and it's Inglés desde cero. That's what it's called. It's right here.
So it's Inglés desde cero.
Desde cero. That's English from
Desde cero. Awesome. All right. Well, you guys, if you need to and you want to connect with Ray, I appreciate your time, Ray, and continued success, my friend.
Same here, Chuck. Same to you.